Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. This video I'm going to be talking about my top favorite highlighters for dark skin, meaning my complexion or even darker. I know that there are a lot of highlighters out there, and a lot of them don't cater to women of color or darker skin. So this is going to give you guys an insight on some of my favorites and just some really good ones in general. And if you're interested in that, then please keep on watching. If you have not already gone ahead and subscribed, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe. But let's jump into the first one. This is in no specific order, it's just the pile that I have it in. So the first highlighter is the Becca Cosmetics Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Topaz. I've talked about this quite a bit in the past because this formula is so creamy, you guys. It's such a soft blended formula. It doesn't feel like anything on the skin, and when you're gliding it onto the skin, it also just feels like butter. I'll give you guys a swatch so that way you guys can see it. But that right there is Topaz. So it's gonna be a little bit more subtle, not as shiny or metallic or out there as some other highlighters, but it is definitely a nice highlighter if you're medium to deep or dark skin tone. That's gonna give you a nice shimmer once you look into the sun or once the sun hits your face. So the next one is a Lancôme highlighter. It's the dual finish highlighter in the shade Dazzling Bronze. So this is 04. So this is a little bit more expensive. Lancôme usually retails for about 30 to 40 bucks. The Becca one, I believe, is about $28 to $34. I'm not sure exactly, but this is another one that gives you like a nice subtle glow. I was using this for a while when I first received it, because I received this one from makeup.com, so I was using this one for a while. It's a little bit lighter in tone, not as bronzy as the first one, but it has a little bit more of that metallic shimmer, so it's really pretty on the skin, you guys. And like I mentioned, I was obsessed with this one. So this one's a little bit more higher end, a little bit more luxurious, but it is so beautiful on the skin, as you guys can see from that swatch. It's pretty darn good, and it's also another like buttery kind of creamy consistency, not really chunky or glittery. No. Now this next highlighter I would recommend for dark, like deep to dark skin tones. So this one is the Dose of Colors Supreme Glow Highlighter in Royal Hotness. This highlighter I use on my deep to dark skin tones because it doesn't really work on my skin tone, especially once I highlight and contour and all of that. It doesn't really show up that much. Like, it shows up, but it's a little bit too like bronzy for me. But it's also another like really buttery one. I really like this one, but as you can see, it's a little bit deeper, so this kind of gets a little bit deeper in tone, but it is so gorgeous on like deep dark skin tones. I like to apply just a tiny bit on deeper or darker skin tones because I don't want the cheek to look too bronzy to cover up the blush or the contour or anything like that. So I just pop a little bit right on the top of the cheekbone and blend that out really nicely. But this blends out very beautifully, but also, as I mentioned, you want to be a little bit more deep dark skin tone, because if you're my skin tone or a little bit darker, it might look a little bit too bronzy on your cheek. So this isn't something that I could personally use. So this next product is actually a beauty influencer's product. Her Instagram handle is Worthy. I think it's WRTHY, I believe. It's like abbreviated, but she has a cosmetic brand, and this is her Stardust Illuminating Powder. Oh my gosh. Miles!
Oh shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
No, don't put that in
yeah,
there. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I gotta get a shade, man.
Crusty. Bye, gosh. This is her Stardust Illuminating Powder, and this is in the shade Maiden. So if you ever look at her Instagram feed, her highlighter is always poppin'. So the one shade that I ended up picking up was Midas, and it actually is a little bit too dark for my liking. So most of her powders were sold out though, so once it's not sold out, I want to go back and buy more. But this is Midas right here. It's a little bit like the Lancôme Dual Finish highlighter in tone, just a lot more metallic. As you can see, this one shines a lot more in the light than the other ones. The other one's a little bit more dull, a little bit more less vibrant, I guess you could say. But this powder is beautiful. beautiful on deep to dark skin tones. Like, it is that if someone comes to me and they're like, I love highlighter, I can't wait till you put on highlighter, I'll put on this one. The only downfall is that it's a loose powder, and I don't really like loose highlighters too much because they get messy and they can spill and everything like that. But this highlighter is gorgeous, so pretty. So the next highlighter is a new one that I just received. It's by the Alexa Prosecco cosmetic brand. It's the Brighten Me Baby highlighter palette, and it's called Bronze Goddess. So this palette comes with 3 different highlighters. The ones that I'll use a little bit of Bronze Goddess, but I'll put Work It Girl over the top because Bronze Goddess is way too bronzy for me. But so this is another really, really, really soft, creamy blend of a highlighter. And it's also as metallic as Midas is. So it gives you that poppin' kind of highlights. But the only thing I wouldn't recommend, I wish it was separate, because not everybody's gonna want this palette because they're not makeup artists, or they don't play with makeup, or they don't work with other skin tones, or they don't work for their skin tone. So if you're deep to dark, buying this palette just for that highlighter would kind of be pointless, I guess you could say, unless you're like a makeup artist and you know you'll use the other shades. But if it's something like, I really like that highlighter, I can't find it anywhere else, I would definitely recommend it. But there's other highlighters, as you can see, that you can use. So I wish Alexa Prosecco Cosmetics would separate these so that way we can buy them separate, as opposed to having to buy them all 3 in one palette, which they might be doing. This is the first launch of these highlighters, so they might end up separating them, which is something that I would definitely recommend. But it is such a stunning pop-in highlight. It's poppin'. So the next highlighter I've been mentioning for the last like 3 or 4 months. It is out of the Makeup Geek Flawlessly Ever After Ebony Empress face palette. So it's a face palette that has 2 blushes, a highlight shade, and a contour shade. And this is the darkest shade. So this contour shade, which is Forbidden, is actually way darker than their contour shades that I use, which is Deal Breaker and Scandal, I believe. I can't remember, but I know one of them is Deal Breaker, but this shade is a lot darker. So if you're deeper and darker than I am, this is going to be really good on you. I use this for my deep dark skin tones to contour because I find that not a lot of contour powders go as dark as this one does. So this is really nice face palette to have if you know that you love blush and highlighter and also need a contour shade that's going to work for you. So this is a like 4 in 1. But this highlighter, y'all, this highlighter, like, it's called Glimmer, and it is gorgeous. It is so pretty on the skin. It's probably the lightest highlighter that I'll show you in tone to where I can wear it. So it's good for like my skin tone, deeper and darker. And sometimes if some of the other highlighters like the Dose of Colors or the Becca one or something like that is a little too dark, I'll go in with Glimmer just right on the cheek just to give a nice little pop. But this highlighter, like, I even want to put some on right now. It's like poppin', poppin', poppin'. Like, I love, love, love this highlighter. Like, it is just so, so stunning. And I don't have anything bad to say about it. It is a little bit more golden, if you can tell by the tones. All of these are a little bit more bronzy. And then once you get here, it's a little bit more golden. So it's a little bit more of a golden base highlighter for deeper, darker skin tones, which can be hard to find. So the last and final highlighter that I'm going to be talking about is the newest highlighter to my collection. I bought this one personally with my own money. Quite a few of these were sent to me. So the Lancôme, the Dose of Colors, the Alexa Prosecco, the Makeup Geek were all sent to me, and I bought the Becca one and the Maybelline one myself. But this is the Maybelline Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter in Molten Topaz. So if you remember, Molten Gold came out about a few years ago, a year ago, a few years ago, and now they came out with the Molten Topaz. So I used this one today in today's video, which you'll see in probably a month. You'll probably see next month. This highlighter is not very metallic. So if you are a older woman, a more mature woman, but you still want to get down with highlighters and you're a little bit more deeper, darker, this is going to be a great highlighter for you. It's very, very, very smooth and very, very, very buttery, but it reminds me a lot of Topaz by Becca. So it's a perfect dupe for Topaz by Becca. This highlighter ran me about $7.99 or $9.99. I got it on Amazon because right now it's only at Amazon, but I'm sure it'll be put into the set at like Walgreens, Target, Ulta, and Walmart pretty soon once they revamp. But as of right now, this is only on Amazon. But as you can see by this one, it's not as metallic as say Glimmer or even Midas and the Prosecco, Alexa Prosecco Cosmetics one. It's not as like shimmery, glimmery. It's a lot more subtle, a lot more soft of a tone, and it's way too dark for me. So I use a little bit of it underneath of some of these highlighters in this video, in this makeup tutorial, and I was like, it's a little too how do I say it? It's a little too subtle for my liking. So I ended up going over the top of it with the Molten Gold. So if you have Molten Gold and you think it's a little too frosty, a little too out there, put Topaz on first and then pop a little bit of Molten Gold right on the top, like right on the cheekbone or right on the top of the cheekbone. So that way you have a nice little pop when you turn. But so this one is gonna be just the one that you just not use for like an overall light wash of glow, for like a natural no makeup kind of look, you know what I mean? But it's not that poppin', if you know what I mean. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I do have a top 5 highlighter video. I have a top 5 playlist, so I'll have that at the end of this video so you can see my top favorite highlighters, liquid lipstick, oh my gosh, foundations, concealers, things of that sort. I'll have that listed at the end of this video so you can check that out. But that completes my top 5, or actually 2, 4, 6. My top 6 highlighters for deep dark skin tones. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have not already subscribed, what are you waiting for, my friend? Please hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell if you have not already done that, so that way you'll be notified every time I post. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you all so much. Mwah. Bye, you guys.